Hi, welcome to the course on Smartphone Premium 3D Text Design. What you are seeing on the screen is one of the designs in our guided project where you are going to learn how to use your smartphone to design what you are seeing on the screen right now. But we cannot just jump into the design process without learning few of the theory aspects. So now let's go ahead and have a look at what we are going to learn in the theory aspect. Alright, so with that said, the theory aspect is going to take us through the concept of color theory, where we are going to learn the basic color theories, how to apply them in your design works. And then we are going to go ahead and learn the concept of fonts. So there are several fonts, of which I'm going to leave some in the resource folder. Okay, I'm going to leave about 3,500 plus fonts for you in the resource folder. So there is the need for you to learn about fonts as well. And then we are also going to go ahead and learn about the design interface tools. So all the things that you are seeing right here with all this one as well, this one as well, and all this with this as well, we are going to have a look into all of them. And then moving on, we are going to go ahead and learn about 3D elements. Okay, so there are 3D elements which can be found here within the text tool and the image tool as well, as you can see. So we are going to have a look at all of them and how you can properly use them. Then moving on, we are now going to go into the practical aspect, which is the guided project works. So now let's go ahead and have a look at few of them once again. So we've already looked at this particular one. So now let's go ahead and have a look at the other ones. So we have this as well, which says cloudy atmosphere with this particular design you are seeing here. So you are going to learn how to design this with your smartphone. Then let's go ahead and have a look at another. So you are going to also have a look at how to design this food era 3D text, as you can see here. So these are some of the projects to be encountered in the course. Okay, so now if you are thinking of whether or not to enroll, I will personally advise you to take the opportunity to enroll in this, because 3D text in graphic designing is becoming often and more in demand. Okay, so you can also use this skill as well and freelance with it, or you can use it to create 3D text for your clients, and it can also be used to create a logo. So if at any point you've heard about logo design in the course, it's basically nothing to be worried about, because there are logos that are just text, that are just 3D text. So if you know how to properly use them, you can also use them in logo design. So once again, I congratulate you for locating this course. So I'll urge you to go ahead, enroll in it, and I will see you in the course. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about what a color is. Alright, so the question you should ask yourself when you want to design a logo is, what is color? Because we are going to be dealing with colors in our design work. So let's have a definition of what a color is. Now, on the left side of the screen, you can see a chart of a color. So we are going to deal more into it later in the course. Now, color can be defined as what an object or an obtained property of an object producing different sensations as a result of the way it emits or reflects light. So what this simply means is that when you are seeing a color to be yellow, it's as a result of an obtained property, or it as a result of how it is emitting light. The same applies to green, the same applies to red, black, or any other color you see out there. So this basically is the definition of color. Now let's see what we have next in our lecture. Alright, so our next lecture we are going to delve into the basic categories of color. So the three basic categories of color. Until then, see you. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the three basic categories of color. So let's get right into that. Alright, so on the right hand side of the screen, you can see the simple color wheel chart. Then the three basic ones that I refer to are what we know as what, or what is known as what, the primary colors. So you should be very conversant with at least the primary ones. So they are what? The yellow, they are red, and then blue. Then we move on to have what? Secondary, which is the orange, the violet, and then the green. Then we move ahead to have the tertiary, which is as a result of the combination between yellow green, then we have yellow orange, then we have red orange, we have red violet, blue violet, and then blue green. So on the left hand side of the screen, you are also seeing some color spectrum. Then towards the extreme left, we are more going to deal with it when we start our design project, or when you are looking at the design interface. Then we will talk more about it and how to select a color using it, or how to directly enter a color code to get this particular, or to get the particular ones that we want. So basically this is what I refer, or this is what is referred to as the basic categories of color. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture we are going to learn about the concept of color combination. Well, let me quickly bring your mind to this. This concept is not about the combination of yellow or red, or green or blue, or any of that. Basically, we are going to look into how we can do color gradient properly, or how we cannot combine a color in order to get the perfect match that we want for our logo. So what you are seeing here right now is our design interface, but in the course of the lecture we are going to get a complete overview of this design interface, and then I'm going to talk about all the tools that you are seeing over here and how you can use them as well. So just for demonstration purposes, let me go ahead and then try and do something real quick. Alright, so now I'm going to insert a text. Okay, so in this particular one, I'm going to insert the text O and E, and I press OK. And I'm going to insert a different text again. This time around, I'll do the O first, and then I'll go and do the E later. So now let me go ahead and then bring the E. Alright, so now let me go ahead and apply, or let me increase the size. Let me check the size so that we can use the same size. Alright, so this is 113. Let me make it 115. Alright, and let me apply the same 115 to this one as well. Alright, then here to apply the same 115. Great. So now all the texts are having the size of 115. Great. Now let's go ahead and then apply two different types of colors, and let's see how it goes. So let me pick my color. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to use all these tools later in the course. So this one we are only using it to learn the concept of color combination. So now if I should apply only one, you can see it turns into yellow, but that's not what I want. I want to combine the colors. So I'll move on here, and then I can use the preset that I have, or I'll show you how to do that. So come here, and then I want the direction to be from here to here. Then select my colors. So for the first one, let me go ahead and select green. Make it a bit light. And this one, let me maintain the yellow. Alright, so I can click on OK. Now this is it. This is what you are seeing right here. Now why did I bring these two separate texts? Now the first one, the OE, is a combination of the text, and then the O and then the E, which is this one and this one, are separate. So now let me go ahead and then apply the two colors as well to this one and see how it goes. So this is it, and then if I should apply it to this one as well, this is it as well. So as you can see, now let's combine the two. Let's say you are designing a logo and then you want to combine the parts. Let me see whether it's up to 115. Okay, so now we've combined it. Now as you can see, since I've applied the gradient separately, or since I've applied the two colors, which is the green and then the yellow, separately, you can see the design in the second one over here is different from the design in the first one over here. So when you want to combine a color in your logo design, it depends on what you want, or it depends on the appearance that you want, and then that is how you are going to apply it. So in some cases, we are going to design a logo and then we will apply the colors differently and then later combine the parts, or in some other ones we are going to combine the parts and then apply the color to it all at once. So it's just a matter of what you want and the appearance that you want. So basically this is what we are going to learn, or this is what we've just learned about the color combination. Alright, then let's go ahead and then we'll move on to the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the combination of color through color gradient. So to do that, we are going to have a demo text which we are going to use for the tutorial. So let me go ahead and bring in the word combination. Alright, now let me increase it. So let me see the size. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so we have a size of 120. Alright, then let me go ahead and make it bold. Great. Now we are going to add the gradient based on the syllable. So this word is having 4 syllables, so which is the combination. So we have the COM, we have the BI, we have the NA, and also we have the TION. So that's how we are going to apply the color to it. So now let's go ahead and go to where the color is. Then we go ahead and pick gradient. Then we go ahead and click on the plus button. Alright, so now we want the direction from the left side to the right side. So we go ahead and pick the very last one here, or you can use the arrow yourself to adjust it to any direction that you want. So when you are exploring the interface, you are going to learn about all this. So at the moment, let's just use the preset, which is this. Now the very first tool you are seeing over here will contain the very first color, and then the second one you are seeing here as well will also take the second color. Now we have 4 syllables in that particular word, which is the COM, we have the BA, we have the NA, and we have the TION, which is combination. So we need 4 colors. So how are we going to do that? You hover to where the plus icon is, and then you click on it. Then it's going to add another color to it. Then now we have 1, 2, 3. Then you repeat it again, the plus here, to get the 4th color, which is here. So now you can arrange it based on what you want. Alright, so here's it. So now for demonstration purposes, let's apply the colors red, yellow, green, and blue. So for the very first one, you click on it, make sure it's active, and then you get to where the color icon is over here, you click on it. So our very first color, we are going for red. So let's go for red, make it light, then click on it. So now we have our red. Now red, yellow. So now let's go for yellow. Make sure it's selected, then you go for yellow. Great. Now let's go ahead, go for green. And then the last one, we go for blue. Let's make it light. Great. Great. So now we have all the 4 colors that we want. Now let's apply it to it and see how the text is looking. Great. Now as you can see, we have it. So the red, you can see that the yellow over here is on the M as well, which is something we don't want. So let's go ahead and readjust it. So to do that, you come back to your plus icon, and then you increase the position of the red. Increase it up to, let's say, here. Great. Then we increase the position of the yellow as well. Let's say up to here. Then we increase the position of the green as well, up to here. So now what you are doing is we are giving it even hot distribution. As you can see, the very first arrow here is matching with the red. Let's go back a bit. And then this particular one is also matching with the yellow. This is matching with the green. Go ahead a bit. And then this as well is matching with the blue. So now let's click on it and let's see. Now as you can see, it's over here. But now we have the yellow, a bit of it, okay, coming towards here. So we don't want it. So let's go ahead and increase the red again. So we come back to the blue here, sorry, the plus icon, and then we increase the red again. So we check it out. Still, we can increase again. Go ahead, we increase again. Good. Now let's increase a bit more. Great. Good. So now we have the red covering the COM. So now let's readjust the yellow to be on only the B and then the I. So let's bring the yellow back. Now let's have a check. Great. Great, so you can see part of the yellow is taking care of the red, which we don't want. So let's shift it forward a bit. Now let's check it out. So we have to go forward. Let's go ahead and check it out a bit again. Let's check it out a little more. Check it out. Now we are okay, or if you want you can give it a little more, but this is okay. Then let's go ahead and make sure the green is on only the N and then the A. So let's bring our green tool back. Check it out. No, it has to go forward a bit. Okay, quiet, not bad. And then we bring the blue back. Great, let me send it forward a bit. Good. So now we are having a combination of this, which is the combination. So we have the COM taking the red, BI, NA, and then TION. Now as you can see, we are not getting a solid color in all of them because we are applying the gradient to the combined text. Now let's break the syllable into 4 separate, and then apply the colors, and then we compare and see how it's looking. So now I'll quickly go ahead and then I'll enter the COM. And click on it and give it the font of 120. That's what we are having for that one. So here is it, 20. Then go ahead and then make a copy 4 times. Okay, it's more than 4. Let me delete one. Great, so now you have the BI. So here we have the NA, and then here we have our TION. Okay, great. So now let's apply the colors separate and see what we will have. So for this particular one, you are taking the red, then the BI is taking the yellow, then the NA is taking the green, and then we have the TION taking the blue. Alright, so let's go ahead and make the text bold. Make this one too bold. Make this one too bold. And this as well bold. So now let's go ahead and then see what we can have right here. Great. Don't worry, we are going to learn about how to use all these tools later, so do not worry. And then need one more. one to be here. Here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and then combine our text. You can bring more lines if you want exact perfection. So what I mean is you can bring more straight lines that I can place them at where this one exactly. So let's bring this one here. Let's bring this one also here. Great. I'll teach you how to use this tool as well. So make sure everything is correctly positioned. Great. So we have our BI should go towards the line a bit. So our BI should go towards the line a bit. So you can also use the position tool to do that. Good. I think it should go down one. Okay, let it go up. And the NA, I think it should also go towards the line. Great. And then the TION, I think where it is great. Good. So now let's go ahead and then we can as well merge it and see what we will have, or we can just leave it like this. Great. So now the two texts you are seeing over here, so one, the gradient has been applied to it directly, and then the other one too, we did it separately. So like I said before in the previous lecture, it depends on, sorry, this one should go up a bit. So like I said earlier in the lecture, it depends on the look that you want to have. If you want to have perfectly sharp color combination or gradient without any overlaps, then you can do it separately. Or if you want a bit of the overlaps, then you can adjust it by applying the gradients to your combined text or your combined logo. So basically this is what the combination of a color through gradient is. Welcome back. In this lecture we are going to learn about the types or directions of gradient positioning. And for this demonstration, I'm not going to use text, rather I'm going to insert a shape and then we see how that goes. So let me go ahead and then insert the shape. Alright, let me pick, and let's pick circle shape. Great. So here we are. So now let's go ahead and try the different directions or the types of gradient positioning. So let's go ahead and then let's apply color. Great. So we go ahead and then you go for gradient. Good. Then we come to the plus button here. So now the very first one is this. So as you can see here, the gradient is coming straight from this direction towards this, and the last one too is also the same, just that the very last one there is a curve with it, and then this one there is sharpness with it. So now let's go ahead and use the very first one. We need only two colors for demonstration. So let's go ahead, let's pick green. And then let's pick another one to, let's say, let's pick the green and yellow. Great. Great, so here is it. So you apply OK. So as you can see, the direction is coming from the left towards the right, but it's not curved. So now let's go ahead and see something. Now let's bring the yellow here and bring the red here as well. So just at the point that they are going to overlap, as you can see here, you can see that they have a very sharp positioning. So if you should apply OK, you see it over here. They have a very sharp positioning with the differentiation from the left towards the right, with the green on the left and then the yellow on the right side of your screen. So now let's go ahead and then pick a different positioning as well. So let's go for a second one, and the second one is clear as well. As you can see, from what the top towards the down, you can also use the arrow as the direction, so you can see. Then if you should click OK, this is the type of shape you will be getting. I require to remember I use this kind of positioning in designing a simple logo for a graphic that I did for a client, so you can as well use it. It's very helpful. So let's go ahead and then pick the other one. So now we have it from the top left corner of the screen towards the bottom right corner of the screen. So if you should apply that as well, this is what you'll be getting. So this is it. This is the structure or the shape or the positioning of the gradient. Now let's go ahead and pick another one. So if you pick the fourth one, this one, the gradient is coming from what? The bottom, okay, the center bottom of the shape, or if it is text, of your text towards the bottom right of the screen, and then with the same color, which is the yellow, surrounding the green. Right now the focus of what this positioning is that one of the colors should be at the center, and the position should be from the center towards the bottom right of the screen. So if you should click on OK, this is what we will be getting as well. And you can use this principle to also design another logo where you curve the your text around, then you can put a logo in between, also another shape at the bottom. So it's as well helpful in design process. So now let's go ahead and pick another form of the positioning. So now here the focus of the color is what? From the center of the screen towards the bottom of the screen, where one of the colors is only focused at the top center of the screen. So now if we should click on the OK icon, this is the design that we will be getting as a result of that kind of positioning or that kind of direction. So now let's go ahead and then pick another form, which is the last one. And this, as I said, is just the reverse of the very first one, just that the first one is sharp whilst the last one is not sharp. So you can also use it, and then if you click on it, this is what the star that we will be getting. Alright, now you can also increase the green in it. So to do that, you can just come here and then send the yellow there, increase the green just like this. Great, so now the green has been increased in it. So now let's talk about custom positioning. So these are the presets that we've used. Now let's go to custom positioning. How do you position your colors based on what you want? So now if you should come to the plus icon here as well, you can then use what to do the custom one. You just use your hand to tap on this particular one, as you can see here, then you move it towards the direction that you want. Depends on what you want. So you can position it okay, to have the green to be at only the bottom left. Okay, let it be at only the bottom left. If you should click OK, this is the design you'll be getting, very small at the bottom left. Or you can also go ahead, give it a different position as you want, or you can change this as well, or use this one or use this one, any of them, and you give it any position. Okay, any position as you want. So for custom positioning, it depends on the style that you want, so it's based on your creativity. So try and divide it diagonally. Great, then you can click on OK. Now this is what we are having. So this is all about the types or the direction of gradient positioning. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about what fonts are. Great. So on your screen, on the left hand side of your screen, you can see an alphabet A, B, and C. And each of these alphabets are having a different set of fonts being applied to it. Now, I'll not jump into conclusion. First of all, let's take a look at what fonts are, more like the definition of fonts. Then we'll continue to its category or the classifications in our next lecture. Alright, so as we have on the screen, we have fonts as an element in design work can be defined as a set of displayable or printable typography or text, which comes in a specific size, style, or both. So as you can see on your screen, the alphabets A, B, and C are having three different types of fonts being applied to it. In our next lecture, we are going to look at the classifications. Until then, see you. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the 4 classifications of fonts. Now, if you research, you may see that some people might tell you there are 5, 6, 7, a lot, but based on this particular course that we are having, we are going to look at the 4 major classification of fonts. So to begin with, we have what we call the serif font. So now let's take a deeper understanding into it. The serif font is what? The small additional stroke known as serif that appears on the letter forms of serif typefaces helps you identify them. Now at the end of this slide, you are going to see a practical example of what a serif font is. So let's continue. So a historic refined quality can be imparted to serif fonts by the decorative addition of an extra stroke. So throughout history, serif fonts have been widely used in book and newspaper printing due to their association with improved readability. So now the importance of you knowing the type of fonts to use in your design work, be it logo, be it the graphic design, be it text typography, or any form that you want, or any design work that you want to do, is to know which particular font to select and for which particular reason you are selecting that. So now let's take a closer look at what a serif font looks like. Alright, so this is what a serif font look like. So as you can see from the definition, we have what? The small additional stroke, as you can see over here, known as serif. So if you should go to this particular image, you can see the additional stroke. You can see it over here, over here, over here. So this is depicting the serif font. Now let's move ahead to the second type of font. So now we have the sans serif fonts. In the previous one, we looked at what the serif font. So now let's look at the sans serif font. So sans serif fonts don't have the extra strokes that make them distinctive. Sans serif can give the impression of being more contemporary, tidy, and minimalist because they lack additional embellishments. Now let's continue. So serif fonts or the sans serif fonts are a wonderful option for companies looking to increase brand recognition because they are frequently very readable. Or the sans serif fonts are a wonderful option for companies looking to increase brand recognition because they are frequently very readable. Now let's take a look at it. So this is a sans serif font. So the small indentation or the small additional stroke over there is not applied to the sans serif font. It only comes with the serif font. So you also have to know the type of design work you are going to do, the company that you are designing for, the business that you are designing for, their motivations, their brand identity before you go ahead and then choose the type of font to use. Now let's continue to the third one. So now we have the script fonts. So we look at the serif font, we looked at the sans serif font, now we are on the script font. So script typefaces have a handwritten appearance which helps humanize and approachable brands. Moreover, script typefaces can convey elegance and status because some of them have more flourish than their sans serif and serif cousins. So script fonts do have one drawback, though. They are frequently harder to read. Script fonts like Lobster and Allura are examples. Now, a real life example of a company that use the script fonts that we can or that most of us will know of is the Coca-Cola brand. If you see their logo, the font they use is a script font. So take note of that. Now let's go ahead and then have a look at the script font. Alright, so this is the style of a script font. This is how it's looking. So it's also based on the type of work or the type of design work you are doing. Now let's go ahead and look at our final classification of fonts. Great, so now we have the display font. So previously we've looked at the serif fonts, we looked at the sans serif font, we looked at the script font, and now we are on the display font. So now let's have a look at what a display font is. So here we have the most varied typeface style is display typefaces, sometimes referred to as decorative fonts. That's why earlier I said some people might tell you it's 5, 6, 7 because some do separate the decorative fonts from the display fonts. So it's based on how they are doing that. But for this course, let's based on only 4, which is the serif, the sans serif, the script, and the display fonts. So display fonts are designed to create a statement and were first meant to be used in large format displays such as posters, billboards, and headlines. So like I said earlier, it depends on your graphic work. So you should make a thorough research about the work you are doing, the company, the brand, before you go ahead and apply any font. So display fonts can be script, sans serif, or serif. They are not limited by style. Now the main key points you should have in mind when you want to pick a display font is how readable is it going to be. So now if you take a poster for instance or billboards for instance, from what distance are you targeting your audience to read your design from? So you should also take all those things in mind before you pick the type of display font you want. Now let's have a look at it. So as you can see over here, this is display font, and if you should draw a little back or further from your screen, you could see that it will still be somehow eligible for you to read. Alright, so this is the 4 classification of fonts we have. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about font pairing in design work. Now, this particular lecture can just be considered as a bonus or a reference point for you to see. There are a lot of materials online, and I will personally advise you go to the internet, make a research based on the design requests that you have to do. So now we have this particular types of font pairing, as you can see on your screen. So we have the Clarendon plus the Leak Gothic. So we have it as what these two classic workhorses are a perfect match. Clarendon brings literary flair, while Leak Gothic's thick weight holds things down. So too, we have the Quando plus Jetson. So this is a good reminder that fonts don't have to be polar opposites to combine well. Quando and Jetson are both serifs with a good dose of character and feminine charm. So based on your design work, again, you can go for this combination. So now let's go ahead and have a look at another one. So we have the Alan plus Lato. So while Alan brings the personality and throwback spirit of hand-painted signs, Lato keeps things modern in this fresh pairing. So we have the Vidaloka plus Roboto. While we want to stress legibility when you are designing with user experience in mind, that doesn't mean you can't have any fun. Vidaloka brings just a touch of playful vibes with its scaled serifs. Pair it with a more staid body font like Roboto to balance the tone just right. Alright, so now let's go ahead and have a look at another one. So we have the Meriwether and Quattrocento. Alright, so we have here are two examples of what are sometimes referred to as super families. Fonts like Meriwether and Quattrocento are are fonts that have enough weights and styles, usually at least a serif and a sans version, that you can formulate a stunning font combination without having to look for another font. So this is basically telling us if we want a particular design to look in a way or in a specific way without having to apply different or so much fonts, then these two combinations are just enough for us in our design work. So again, go onto the internet, make a research based on the design proposal that you have at hand. Until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about exploring the design interface and getting familiar with it. So in effect, the app we are going to use for this design work is pixelLab. So we are just going to have a look at it both on the landscape format and the portrait format. So as you can see on the left side of the screen is a device, a mobile device, my mobile device actually. So we are just going to explore the tools using the mobile device and also using the landscape format. Alright, so starting from this particular point here is the plus icon where you can see your text, your current date, sticker, shape from gallery, and then draw. when we are doing the design work, I'm going to show you how to use all these things, so do not worry. And then we also have the save button here, so we can save as sort a project, and we can also save as sort an image. So we also have the share option here, where you have the ability to save to gallery or share to any social media platform. So if you should use the save button here to as image, you still get back to this particular menu. Then we also have the quotation one here, where you can insert quotations. So you can see motivation, you can change it to friendship, happiness, any of them that you want. It depends. Right, then from the three dots also here, you can also see some menu: use image from gallery, full screen, use image from camera, and all these other options as well. So over here is our pixelLab logo, and then we have the undo button, and we have the zoom, and then we have what I refer to as the grid, and then you also have the panel where you can see the particular panel that you are on, or you can toggle it off and then on, and then you can as well lock it if you want. All right, then moving on, then we come to this particular shape over here that is looking like the Venn diagram, the three sets problem. Then you also have the defaults, which are the projects, so you can choose another one, which is this. You can choose another. It depends on what you want as well. Then coming next is this particular option where the A is. Then you can also use it. You have the styles and all this, so all these ones will be explained into detail in another lecture. So for this purpose, we are only exploring. Then we come back to this particular one as well. So you also have the options here, and then we can also explore them later. Then we have this as well, where we can change the background to transparent if we want, or we can input a color if we want. So it all depends on what you want. Okay, so this is it. If you don't want, you can just cancel it, or you can undo. All right, then you also have some few effects over here, and then you also learn how to use all this in this design work, so do not worry. So this is it. So if you are using direct mobile without the landscape, this is how it's going to look. So this is the portrait view of the application. Now let's go ahead and have the view in landscape. Alright, so here is it. So here is our view in landscape, and you also have the logo here. You have the undo, the plus, the grid, and then the layout. So we also have the plus here, as you can see, with all this, and then we have everything. You also have the save as project as image. Then we also have this as well. Then moving on, we also have the quotation, just like we have in that particular one as well. Okay, then we also have these particular ones as well, just like we've seen on the portrait format. And with all this, so we can also come ahead, pick this. If this is what we want, then it's going to override this particular one, as you can see. Then we go ahead, you can change it to any style you want. Okay, then we have all this as well. We have all this, we have all this, then we have this as well. Then we have all this. I'm going to show you how to use all these tools, and this as well, this as well. So basically this is the overview or the interface for both portrait and the landscape. But in this lecture, we are mostly going to make use of the portrait. But in this lecture, we are mostly going to make use of the landscape, as you are seeing over here, so that I can record the screen in a larger format for you. But it is same as the portrait as well. Until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to have a general look at some tools before the subsequent lectures will take each of the major tools that we will be using in the course more often. So let's get into that. Now, the undo button is this very one. It's inactive as at now. So if you should edit the text, then it becomes active. So you can switch to, or you can choose to undo this. Okay. Now follow is the zoom button right here. So if you click on it, then you will be able to zoom in and then do whatever you want to do as well. Alright, then here I refer to it as the grid. So we just allow you to align text correctly, and we will be using it in the tutorial as well. So that's it. Then this one is your panel, where you can see the number of, let's say, the layers that you have. Okay, so this is that. Then we have the plus also here, that you can insert a new text if you want, or you can go ahead insert the current date. If you want, you can go ahead insert a sticker. So you can decide to choose any of them that you want. Then shapes, you can as well pick that one too. Okay, so this is it. Then you come to the arrow here, then you can select from the default shapes. Great. Then you mark it. Good. And then you can also select from gallery, or you can also draw as well. Whatever you want to draw, you can draw. Okay. Then moving on is our save button. So you can either save as a project or you can save as an image. Now you can save as a project if you are working on a design that you plan to continue later, or if you want to have it down as a template, you can save it as a project. Otherwise, you can just render it as saved, and we'll be using it, and I'll show you how to save your files to make them print ready. Then we have the share button as well, where you can share to this social media over here, as you can see. Then we also have this one, which shows the quotations. So you can insert a quote if you want, and this is motivation. So you can go ahead, success, friendship, happiness, inspiration, positivity, and then upset, So let's go ahead and then let's pick success. So this is it. Then you can also switch between these two languages, either English or French. So as you can see, it has changed. And you can go back, and we also have these three dots over here where you can use image from gallery, you can toggle full screen, and you can use image from the camera, and a whole lot. So that is that. So this will cover for the general tools. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we talked about the general tools that you can see at the top here. Now in this lecture, we are going to talk about the default or save project tool, which is this particular one that is looking like 3 circles intertwining, more like a Venn diagram. So this is your default or saved project tool. Now what do I mean by that? If you should open the pixelLab application, this is a default text that you are going to get. So all these designs here are the default templates that you have. Okay, so you can switch between them and then choose the one that you want. Okay, now if you've been using it, then you will be getting a folder like this where your saved project works will be found. So if you should click on it, then you can choose the project work that you have saved down. So this is a design, then you can save it down, then when you want, you continue. So you have your project, some of your projects here, as you can see. then whenever you want, then you can go ahead and then rechange it to what you want. Okay, now you can go ahead as well and then pick another one. Then this is it. So this is what this tool does. So basically it's used to find where your project files are, the projects that you've saved. When you should click on this save, then you save as project. Okay, you can find it right in this folder through this particular tool. Alright, and then you can also choose from the default ones over here. So this is it. Alright, so this will be the end of this particular lecture. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we talked about the default or the project tool. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the text tool. So the text tool is the one that is right beside the project or the default tool. So it is represented with an alphabet A. So let's click on it and see what happens. Alright, so initially when no text is selected, the text tool only shows two elements, which is the text and the quotes. We've already talked about how to insert a text and quotes. So let me just go ahead and then select the new text on the screen for the other elements to also come. Right, so upon selection, you are going to get all these elements which will help you in editing your text professionally. Great, so let's go ahead and then work with the very first one, which is the default styles that comes with the application. So you have to click on browse. Now should you select this one, it's going to change the look of the text. And then if you select another one as well, it's also going to have a change on it. Then we select another one as well, it's going to have a change. Okay, so basically this is what the styles over here does. Moving on, we'll talk about the edit element. So should you click on it, it enables you to re-edit the text, okay, to your style. So you can just name it new edit, then you click on OK. So as you can see, it has changed. So this delete element here will get rid of the new edit. Then the copy is going to duplicate the text. As you can see, we've added another text. And then to front and then to back, coupled with the panel over here, will allow you to change the position of your elements right here. Okay, so now I'm going to insert a shape for demonstration purposes only. Great, so I have this shape right here. Let me change the color to gradients. Okay, even this. Great. So I have this shape right here, but as you can see, the text is behind it, both of the text. So if you select your text and then you bring to front, it brings it to front. To back, it sends it back, as you can see. Now you can do the same thing using your layer panel here. So should you send this text to front, it brings it towards the front. If you send this one to front, it's also send it towards front. And if you want it like this too, you get it. So for the purpose of this lecture, I'm going to hide this shape for the meantime. So you just click on the eye icon, which is the eye icon over here. Now moving on, we'll talk about the position and the relative position so that you see the use of the two. So let's go ahead with the position. So with the position, you have a pixel by 1 to 15 pixels where you can move your text. So when it is at 4 pixels, the distance at which it will move is also different as compared to when it is on 15 pixels. So basically that's what it does. And also bottom. Great. So now we'll go ahead for the relative position. Now with the relative position, this particular one will center it at where it is. then this one will move it to the extreme left, and then to the extreme right, then back to center on the same line. Now this particular one will move it to the center of the document. As you can see, let me send this one somewhere. So if it is here and you apply this particular, to move it to the center of the document, and then extreme top and then extreme bottom. So basically that is what it does. So now let's go ahead and then move on. So we are now on the size tool. Okay, so you can use the size tool to toggle the size of your text with any style that you want. Alright, then we will move ahead to the padding. So we can add padding, which is space within the text. Okay, so spaces within the text are our paddings, so we can use that one as well. Now we move on to the color, where you can add your color, your solid color or gradient colors as well. So moving on, we move on to the texture, where you can add an image or any photo to your text. So you come to the gallery here, and then you select the image that you want to add. So let's, for instance, select this particular image. Then you go ahead and crop it to the particular place that you want to show within the text. Okay, so I just want to show the color, the dress within the text. So you click on mark here. So as you can see, you have it right here. Now if you are not cool with it and you want to change it or delete it, you come back to the texture here, then this one will change it and this will delete it. With the maintain ratio, will take or will maintain where you've exactly cut within the picture to show it. Then you can scale it, okay, anyhow you want. Great. So now let me go ahead and delete it. I don't want it. Good. So now we'll move on to the opacity, where you can reduce the transparency level of your text, okay, to 0, from 0 to 100. Alright, now moving on from the opacity, we will go to rotate, where you can rotate your text by angle, as you can see over here. And then from the rotate, I will go to max, where you can cut out certain parts of the text. Once you are doing the design project, you will learn more about the use of this max. Okay, you can also use it to create shapes if you want. So we'll talk more about it in our design project. Now away from the max, we'll go to font, which you already know, so you can adjust the font based on what you want, or you can use your uploaded font, and this font will be in the resource folder for you to also use. So this is it, new edit. So this is the style we've gotten. So you can also go ahead and then change it to any style that you want. Okay, any style that you want. So let me just leave it at this particular one. Great, so this is what I have. Then with the style tab here, you can bold it, make it italic, underline it, or if you don't want, you can cancel everything. Great. Then we move ahead to the curve, where you can use it to what? Bend the text. Okay, this is also useful when you are designing a logo and there's no need for the text to bend, so you can use this as well. Then moving on from the curve, we'll go to background, okay, where you can add any color to the background of your text, as you can see here. So you can choose to add gradient or whichever way you want it. Then we'll go to the alignment, which you already know about already. So you have all this, or justify, then you can just do this. Then from the alignment, we go to spacing, where you can space your text to your desired choice. Okay, so you have it also. Then from there, we'll talk about the stroke, but then I'm going to leave some of the elements here and then I'll explain it when we are doing the 3D design, okay, or when I'm explaining more about the 3D element or the 3D text tool. so we are not going to talk about these ones for now. For the meantime, we'll come back to it and then we'll talk about it. But then let's talk about the stroke as well. So you can enable the stroke, which is the line that surrounds your text. Let me just put it that way, as you can see. Okay, so you can reduce it to make it thin. So you can do that as well within this edit tool. And then we have the shadow as well. We have the inner shadow as well. You can also play with it and then know more about all these things, as you can see, with the blur radius, the offset and everything. So you can see you can use all those things to edit. Then you can also use the inner shadow as well, okay, which will enable the shadow inside with the offset and everything, as you can see. Okay, great. Then you can also talk about the emboss, which will mostly use in a 3D design process. Okay, so this one I'm just playing with it. Then you can also talk about the perspective, where you can edit it to look the way that you want. Okay, so you can have something like this, nice, or you can edit it to your taste. Then we move on to the 3D rotation. Like I said, we'll use it more often when we are doing the 3D design. So we are just playing with these particular ones as at now. Okay, so here is it. Then 3D text as well. Okay, so we'll come back and then learn more about enabling the 3D text. Then we also have our 3D shadow. Okay, so you can choose any color you want. Okay, expand it anyhow. Then we also have the reflection. Okay, so here, as you can see. So congratulations, you've successfully gone through the text tool, which is represented by the alphabet A. Well done, and see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we talked about the text tool. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the shape tool, and it can be located beside the text tool right here. So if we should click on the shape tool right here, this is what we are going to get because no shape has been found. So let's go ahead and then insert a shape and use it to steady the tool. Great, so as you can see over here, let's go ahead and then we delete the text. Great, so we have the shape tool. So once you have the shape on board, it's going to bring extra tools that you can work with, and most of these tools we've already talked about it in the text tool. For example, the edit here will allow you to edit your shape, and then the delete here will allow you to get rid of the shape. The crop here will allow you to readjust it based on what you want, as you can see. So we don't want that. And then the copy will duplicate it. We've already known about the copy. Okay, so let me just put it somewhere here. Then to front and then to back, we also know about it already. It's the same principle. Then position and relative position also works the same, just as we've demonstrated with the text tool. Then the relative size here as well. So if you click on it, what it does is that it enables you to increase the size based on what you want. So when you enable the maintain ratio, when you increase one, the second side will also increase. For example, when you increase width, height will increase. When you increase height, width will increase. So if you don't want that, then you can disable the maintain ratio and you can increase them based on what you want. So as you can see, the two of them are no longer moving. So that's it for the relative size. Then color, we've already talked about it. You can enable it and then insert any color of your choice. Then the same with the texture. If you want to insert an image into it, you can select it. It works the same way we've demonstrated using the text tool. Then opacity also works the same way, and then you also have the color filters, or you can use it to adjust it based on what you want. Okay, then you also go ahead and come to the stroke. It works the same way just as we've demonstrated back then. And then eraser also enables you to erase part of the shape. You can increase the size of the eraser. Okay, then you can increase the blurriness level, as you can see. So basically that's what it does. Okay, so we don't want anything like that. Great. So we go ahead, and then the marks, it's also work the same way like we've demonstrated using the text tool as well. And also we'll go ahead and then talk about the erase color. Okay, so now if you should have, let's go ahead and let this particular shape have a gradient color, two of them like this. So now what the erase color does is that it's going to pick a particular color. You can also use it to quickly remove background of images that are having a solid color. So we click on it and then enable it, then go ahead and pick the color that we want. So since these are not two separate shapes, it has taken all the colors out at once. But let's demonstrate it using two separate shapes. So we have this as well, and then we'll come to the panel here, then we select the two. Okay, so you come to this particular place here, then you select, and then you select, then you come to merge here as well. Okay, so you press OK, then now the two shapes has been merged. So now let's go ahead and apply the erase color. So it has picked the white by default. So if that's not what you want, you can adjust it by coming to this particular tool here, then you pick the color that you want to get rid of, then you mark it. So it brings the white back, and then has taken rid of that particular color. So that's what that shape does. So let's go ahead and undo it. Great. So the rotation is the same, 3D rotation the same, 3D shape is also the same as we've demonstrated back with that particular text tool. Okay, sorry, I should apply it to this. So that's it. Okay, so as you can see, it's now a 3D shape. You can darken it well based on what you want. Okay, so we'll learn more about all this when we start the main project, or when we are taking a very keen or the advanced view of the 3D elements. Then we'll learn about all this as well. Okay, then the perspective also the same way. Then you enable it, and then it will take the shape of how you've drawn it. Then the shadow, the inner shadow, and then the emboss also work the same way, just like we've explained using the text tool. So once again, congratulations. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In the previous lecture, we learned about the shape tool. Now we are going to go ahead and learn about the background tool, how to change the background for your design. So this one that we have here is not what we want, so let's try and see means and ways to do that. So the background tool is the one next to the shape tool, so let's click on it. So this is what we have. So now if we want the background to be transparent, so that whatever we design, we can save it as PNG for it to be transparent, then you click on this particular one here. So as you can see, it's now transparent. Then the color here will bring a solid color to the background if that's what you want, or a gradient color if that is what you want. Great. Now the image size here as well gives you the ability to adjust. Okay, you can use the custom one, so square, then adjust it. Then let's pick another one, YouTube channel banner, then adjust it. As you can see, it has adjusted the background shape or the structure of the background. And the crop here is also when you insert an image, or okay, so when you insert an image, then you can use the crop tool to also adjust that. Then with that image, we have the predefined images right here, which you can use. Okay, so these are all cool features that you can use. Then moving on, we have from gallery, where you can select your background image yourself, okay, based on the one of your choice. So let's see. Okay, so you can choose to select this. Okay, it all depends on you. Then you adjust it to where you want to show. Okay, if you click on it, this is what you are having. Great. Then you also have from camera, where you can use your phone camera to snap any picture and then adjust it to the background. Congratulations once again, you've successfully completed this lecture also on background. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we talked about the background tool. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the background effect tool and see how to use them in our design work. So next to the background tool is your background effect tool. So you click on it and then you have all these options. So you can rotate the background based on how you want it. Okay, if you should insert an image, you'll be able to do that. Or you can use this tool as well to adjust the look of it. Okay, if this is what you want, then you can adjust the color and everything. Then you also come to the noise level. Okay, if that is how you want, then you can as well do that. Then moving on, we have the stripes as well, so you can insert it, then repeat. Okay, with it, so the less they repeat, the bigger the stripes. So the more they repeat, the lesser the stripes. Then we move on to the brightness, where you can adjust the brightness, as you can see. Okay, then after the brightness, you move on to the contrast. So you can also do that, adjust that as well. So that's it. And then we move on to the hue as well. Okay, so you can adjust it based on what you want. Then we move on to the last one, which is the saturation. Okay, so here is it. Great. So once again, congratulations on learning about the background effect tools. So based on the design work that you are using, you can also apply it in your design work. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this session, we are going to have a look at the emboss element, perspective, 3D rotate, 3D text, 3D shadow. We'll also talk about adding 3D elements the proper way, and we will also look at the advanced rendering for 3D text. Alright, so to do that, let's go ahead to our text tool and then have a look at what we'll be dealing with in this session. So like I stated earlier on, we'll be dealing with the emboss, which is this particular one. Then we'll move on to the perspective. Then we'll move on to 3D rotate, 3D text, 3D shadow, and then we'll also talk about rendering our work the proper way, and then adding the 3D text the proper way as well. So until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the emboss element for our 3D rendering. So to do that, let me quickly go ahead and then bring in a demo text. Alright, so with the demo text, I'm going to go ahead and then I'll apply some font and also style to it. So let's go ahead with the font first. And I'll go with the Chunk 5. It's a default font, so you should be able to get it. Then I'll come to the style and still make it bold. Okay, or if you want, let's leave that for now. Okay, so since we've gotten the Chunk 5 to make the text bold already, let's leave it like that for now. Okay, now let's go ahead now to our emboss. Now the emboss is just kind of decorating a text in order to raise the mark on it, okay, to make the text look as if it has been raised a mark on it. So basically that is what the emboss does. So let's go ahead and then apply it and see how it looks. But first of all, let's make a copy down so that we'll be able to know the difference between the two. So let's go and make a copy. Great. So we have the copy here, we have this one to here. Now let's apply the emboss to the text. So one of the text. Great. So as you can see, it's already looking differently from the copied text. Now it's adding a little bit of raising hot decoration to the text, and you can also intensify it with this particular option. Okay, then you adjust the ambient as well. So let's get this one to be 85. Then the lightening effect too, as you can see, if you decrease it, it becomes like this. If you increase it, it also comes like this. So the ambient light makes it bright or dim. Okay, so let's bring it to 5 is okay for us. Then the specular hardness, okay, can also be adjusted. So as you increase it, you see what happens. When you decrease it also, you see what happens. Okay, to make the text either hard or soft. Okay, so let's make it a little bit soft. Let's give it 30. Then with the bevel level as well, as you can see, it brings it out the more. Okay, it brings the emboss out the more. So let's leave that at 60. Great. So with the emboss tool alone, you'll be able to design a cool text that is looking like this. Now it's appearing as if it's a 3D text, right? Yes, that's because of the nature of emboss. It has raised the text up. That is how you are seeing it, as if it's a 3D text. So now imagine applying this to your 3D text. Okay, a text that has been raised already, you reapply this to it to look awesome. And I use this effect to design the book cover of my ebook that I've written. So during the course, I may bring it for you to see, or I may not. So this is basically what emboss does in rendering our 3D text. Until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In the previous lecture, we delved into the emboss element, and we were able to come out with a demo text looking just like this. Alright, so in this particular one, we are going to talk about the perspective. Okay, and the perspective can be defined as what? The art of representing three-dimensional objects on a two-dimensional surface so as to give the right impression of their height, width, depth, and position in relation to each other. Okay, so now let's take a look at this in practicals. So I'm going to go ahead and then drop this demo text here and then make a copy of this particular one. Great, so let's leave this here as well and bring this particular one here now. So with that, let's go ahead and apply the perspective to the text. So as you can see now, so now we are having what? The two-dimensional surface. Okay, so you can apply the text, or you can apply your perspective to it so that it looks in a way as if it's from a smaller point towards a bigger point, or a bigger point towards a smaller point. So now let's demonstrate the two. So you just click on one of the edges and then drag it. Okay, drag, then make sure it's in alignment. So to really get it to the alignment that you want, you can use the grid over here. Okay, then you adjust it. Great. So we have it perfectly adjusted. Great. So with the perspective, you are able to get a text looking right like this. So from the smaller point towards the bigger point. Okay, so you can also do the same thing from a bigger point towards a smaller point. So let's do that by making a copy of this again, and then we bring it right here. Go ahead and apply the perspective. Okay, so now we'll drag this side up rather, and then go ahead and enable the perspective. So as you can see, now we have the text from the bigger point towards the smaller point. So basically this is what the perspective element does, and you can also use it in your 3D rendering process. Until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we talked about the perspective element. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the 3D rotate element. So let me quickly go ahead and put this text somewhere. Okay, let me reduce the size, put it here. Alright, so this lecture we are going to talk about the 3D rotate. So you select your text, go to your text tool, and then scroll to the bottom to get your 3D rotate. Okay, so here is the 3D rotate. So before then, let me go ahead as usual and then make a copy of the text down. Great, so I have the copy down. Now let me go ahead and apply the 3D rotate. So now with the 3D rotate, you have your x-axis and we have your y-axis as well. Okay, through which you will be able to rotate the text. So let's go ahead and then have a look at it. So as you can see, with the x-axis, it rotates it right like this, and with the y-axis also, it rotates it just like you are seeing. So depending on the angle at which you want it, then you adjust it to your preference. Okay, now when you rotate it with the y-axis, it's kind of looking as if it's having a perspective view, just that all the text are having equal size. No point is bigger than the other. So basically that is it. And then with the x-axis, you can also see it like this. Okay, as if it's facing down with this, and this one in particular is facing upwards. So you can leave it at 38 x-axis and then 52 y-axis. Remember, this is also a demonstration purpose. Okay, then you can as well apply this to your 3D text design. Okay, so based on the concept on which you are designing a logo or working on a graphic, then you can apply it as it suits you or per the demand of your client. So basically this is what the 3D rotate does. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In our previous lecture, we talked about the 3D rotate, and in this lecture we are going to talk about the 3D text. Now the 3D text is usually the main focus when you want to get a 3D logo or a 3D design, but based on the project at hand, will enable you to either use it more or use it less. So for the purpose of this lecture, let's try and then design it in a way for understanding sake. So let's go ahead and do that. So as usual, let's drag this down. Let me resize it small and then drag it down. Then go ahead and then make a copy of this demo text. Bring it down as usual, and then we focus on this particular one. So now let's go ahead and add the 3D text. So here is it. So you click on it and then you enable it. Now as you can see, it has already been enabled, okay, and then the depth at which it is determines determines the size of your 3D text. Now increasing the depth, as you can see, will increase the size of it. Okay, the size of the depth has been increased. As you can see, it's increasing. So we can leave it at 11 for demonstration purposes only. Now we have the perspective view, and then we have the oblique view as well. So with the oblique view, you can see how it is looking. Okay, it's not that nice for us, though it's not bad, but this is how it is. So we go ahead and then leave it at perspective, then put it at our usual 11. Then with the depth color, you can apply a separate color to it, or you can leave it at auto. Then it will determine the color based on the color of the main text. So now if you don't want that, then you can bring in the color that you want. Okay, so if it is blue you want, you can bring it. Green you want, you can bring it. Or even if it's gradient you want, you can as well bring it, as you can see. Okay, so this is a cool effect of it, but I'll leave it at auto for this tutorial sake. Great, then we have the darken element here. Okay, so that will make your extrusion, okay, the back extrusion, to darken or lighten. So if you should increase it, you see now it's darkened, so now it's light as well. So based on what you want, then you can leave it at that. So let me leave it at 30% for this sake. Then we have the 3D rotation here. Okay, and you can rotate it within the X rotation. It's the same as the X axis in the previous lecture that we talked about. Okay, the 3D rotate. So the X axis, you know what it does, and then the Y axis also, you know what it does. And now this particular one is having the Z axis also. Okay, so it toggles the angle, as you can see. So that's what the Z axis does. So now let's bring it to the normal point. Zero. Great. And then let's bring this one to, so let's leave this one at, let's say 10. Alright, so we have the simulate lightning, okay, or simulate lighting. Now we are going to make use of this when we are designing an actual 3D text. But if you are not going to design an actual 3D text in the course, then there is no need for it. But once there's no need to design an actual 3D text or even a 3D logo, then we'll make use of it. Now the simulate lightning, what it does, it's normally not that good if you are designing a logo with it, because with it it's going to break the logo. Now if you are designing a logo, you much understand it when we get there. That is if it is within the course. So with the logo, we'll just make sure we turn it off, okay, so that it will not break the text for us. Okay, so you can enable it or you disable it. Now this is just a demo text, so it will appear to you as if you on it or not, nothing is breaking. But believe me, if you are designing a logo and it is on, it will break. So normally you off the 3D or the simulate lightning. Okay, so you can off it if you want, and then, or if you don't want, if it's just a text like this that will not affect it, then you can leave it and adjust the lightning, okay, per your choice. Then it's the same, you can intensify the light here, the shadow and everything, as you can see. So basically that is what it's doing. Okay, but with the 3D logo, for instance, I will not advise you leave the simulate lightning on. You should off it. So basically this is what the 3D text does. Until then, see you. Welcome back. In the previous lecture, we talked about how to add our 3D text properly. In this lecture, we are going to look at 3D shadow. So without much doing, let's get right into that. So as usual, let's drag this one, decrease it some more, and then put it somewhere else. And then we'll go ahead and work with our demo text. Okay, let's put it here. Nice. So now let's go ahead and then make a copy as usual. Put a copy somewhere and then work with this. So let's go and then enable our 3D shadow. So here is it. Now what the 3D shadow does is that it kind of gives you a shadow that looks as if the text has been underlined. So basically that is what it does, and you can also change the color of it as well. So with the blue color here, you can increase the opacity, how you want it to be transparent, and then the blur radius you can increase or decrease, and you can expand. If you want it to be big, you can expand it, or you want it to be small also. That is how it is. So here is it. So basically the 3D shadow is just a simple way of adding, let's say, a color or an underlined line that you can apply a color to. So there is nothing much about it. So now let's select our main 3D text here and then apply the 3D shadow to it, and see it will give you the same result as you can see. So basically that is what it does. So that's it. So it's nothing much. Great. So all done. We've been able to go through to all the elements that we have that will enable us to bring out a 3D design properly. In the next lecture, we are going to talk briefly about adding 3D elements the proper way. Until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In the previous lectures, we were able to talk about the emboss element, perspective element, 3D rotate, 3D text, 3D shadow. In this one, we are going to talk about rendering or adding 3D elements the proper way. Now, this is just going to be a brief lecture. So in order to add your 3D text or to render your 3D text properly, you should be able to know what and what to do first. You don't just jump into it and then add this one, add that one, adjust. No. You have a well planned layout, of what you want, and then you also choose your text font wisely before you go ahead and apply your 3D elements. So the next lecture I'm going to demonstrate a way to add your 3D text properly. So we are going to have a 3D text that I'm going to apply few of the things that we learned, or we can also apply all of them that we want. Then see how the text is going to look like. Stay tuned to that lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the advanced rendering of 3D text with our 3D elements, or the advanced rendering of 3D elements. So now let's go ahead and use a text for that. Now we are going to use a text, and we'll also use a shape. So we'll try with the two. So we already have the text here, and then let's go ahead and edit the text. So let me write 3D rendering. Then let's go ahead and insert a shape as well. Okay, let's see the shape that we use. Let's use this lightning one. You can choose any shape you want. It depends on your choice. So let me put this one here for the meantime and work with the 3D text. Alright, so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and then add the 3D text effect first. So I'm going to work with the 3D text element first. Great. So now I have what I want. Let me go ahead, increase the depth small to 15 is okay. Then I'll go down and then up there simulate lightning. I don't want it to break. So and now I have what I want. Then I'll go ahead and darken it a bit. Okay, darken it a bit. Let's put it at 50. And then go ahead and then see if there is a need for the 3D rotate. Okay, I'll rotate it by 15. Okay, let's rotate it by 1.5. Now I have what I want. Let me see. Should I add a color? Okay, let's see. Okay. Alright, so I don't need the color. Let's just leave the color out. Okay, let's leave it at auto. Then I'll go ahead and then mark it. Note, I want the perspective, I don't want the oblique. So if that's what you want, you can as well enable it, okay, to have it looking like this. I don't want that, I want perspective. So this is it. Then I'll go ahead and click on mark. Now after choosing the 3D text, let me now go ahead and work with the emboss. So I'll click on it and then enable the emboss. Then adjust the intensity. Okay, okay, so I have here the angle to be 81, the intensity 46, the ambient light 58, specular hardness I have it 40, and then the bevel I also have it at 12. So let me mark this. Then go ahead and add an inner shadow. Though we've not talked about it, we talked about it in the previous session. So you can go ahead and add it if you want. Okay, let's put the offset at 0. Then we'll come and make this light. Okay, you can use the red if you want, but with the green is looking very light. Okay, then with the blue as well. So now if the blur radius, you can also increase it. Okay, so now as you can see, depending on the type of 3D text you want, then you can go ahead and adjust them per your request. Okay, now let's see. Great. So you can see the styles I'm using to arrive here. Okay, I did not apply the green color directly to the text. So I started with the 3D, everything was white before we got here. So now you can also do that to get this nice looking effect. Then if you want, let's see what else we can add. The reflection, we don't want it. 3D rotate as well. I don't think we want it. No. Don't want it. No. So you can just cancel it. Then you can have your cool 3D text looking just like this. Okay. So you can have this. And there are several ways through which you can render as well. You can apply the green color direct if that is what you want. Okay. So now let's go ahead and work with the shape as well. So with the shape, you are going to come to the shape tool right here, and then go ahead and click on the 3D shape. Then you enable it. Then let's increase the depth, and we'll come to the oblique now. Okay, so with the shape, we are going to use the oblique. Great. The color, let's leave it as this. Okay, or you can apply a gradient if you want. It's your choice. So for demonstration purposes, let's apply that gradient. Then you can darken it if you want. Okay, or make it light. So in this case, let's make it light. And then the rotation, you can also do it. Okay, the oblique rotation, where you want the 3D text should be showing too. So this is not good, so let's leave it right here. Okay, great. I think this should be okay. 350 should be okay for me. Great. Then go ahead. So go ahead and see what else we can do. Okay, the simulate lightning, as usual, we can put it off. Great. Then we mark it. Now let's go ahead and see how the perspective will do for us. So now let's go ahead and enable it and see how far we can drag it. So for creativity, it's just about your thinking ability. Okay, you think of what to do or what your clients will want, then you go ahead and do it for them. Okay, so we have it like this. Great. Then you can choose to leave it like this if you want, or go ahead, apply the tools that you want. So now let's use the emboss and see whether we like it. Now with the emboss, it's not looking good for us. Okay, the raise stop, that is not what we want, so we can just cancel that. And also the inner shadow, if you want, you can as well bring it, but once again, that is not what we are looking for, so we leave it. Or if you want, you can also apply it. It's your choice. Okay, great. So with the shadow as well, we don't want it. Okay, we don't want the shadow as well, so we also do away with it. So just this one is looking okay for us. Okay, so go ahead and then leave it just like this. So like I talked about earlier on, the creativity is just about your thinking ability, your thinking level. Okay, think of something creative, think of something nice to do, then the tools are here for you. I've already explained them, so just make a use of it. Okay, now let's try again and see what we can do. Okay, let's try and create a shape. Okay, cancel that. Let me start over. Then we use the move tool here to move it. Okay, And now let's add a point. And then let's merge it. Great. Now let's go ahead and adjust the points. As you can see, it's just about your creativity, what you want. Okay, so you think about it and then you get it nicely done. So this is just a random shape I'm creating. Okay, so you create it nicely, and then you can give it a color if you want. Okay, you can fill it with a color, any color of your choice. You can fill it with it. Then you can also work with the stroke width. Okay, how big you want it to be or small. Then you can also adjust the color for the stroke. Then when you are done with it, you click on OK. You get your shape nicely created. Now if we are rendering 3D logo, then we'll make use of it more often, and also make use of circles often to get our design look. Or you can also use the text to also edit it to have our design or desired look. So basically this is what we have for this particular lecture. See you in the next one. Welcome back. A lot of you may say that I've rendered my project work or my design and it's looking like this, it's looking like that. Now take a keen note of these three basic things before you render or when you are rendering your project works. The number one is make sure not to use low quality images or icons in your design. Always make sure that you upscale them. Okay, you upscale the low quality images or icons, or you download the high quality format before you use. Moving on, do not overstring large quality images or icons. Okay, if the image or the icon or the resource you are going to use in your design is already of high quality, then don't shrink them too much, because in certain cases they are going to break, which may not be good for your design. And also, in case you want to use low quality images or icons, which I have already warned about, then make sure that you do not over enlarge them. Okay, because in certain cases if you should enlarge them, they are going to blur out or they are not going to look nice at all. So make sure you keep these three key things when rendering your project, or even before you render your project. They are very much important. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this video we are going to learn how to render our project works or our designs for personal use, for social media use, or print ready use. Okay, so we are going to learn it in these three folds. So well, you've been able to design your project and there is a need for your client to go and print it. You can't just save it as an image, or you just can't render it anyhow and expect them to go and print it in good format. There is a way you have to render it. Okay, so that's what we are going to work with. Now let me go ahead and input a saved project for an example. Okay, so now let's pick this time is golden. Great, so let's presume this is the design that you've made. Okay, and there's no need for you to render it out and send it to your client to go and print and put in a photo album. Okay, now what you have to do is that you have to go ahead to where your save icon is. We've already talked about it. this particular one where you can save as a project or as an image. So let's presume you are going to save it for personal use. So let's click on save as image. Now you are going to get this particular screen, okay, this pop-up screen will come where you can share your design to directly. Now beneath the image format here is what we have as what the quality. Now the image format too depends on what you are doing. Okay, if you are designing a project that there is no need for a background, you want it to be transparent, then you can go ahead and select the PNG instead of the JPEG, which has no transparency. So let's go ahead now. Now with the quality, when you click on it, you are going to get all these options. Okay, you have it here. We have the custom, we have the low, we have the medium, the high, very high, and ultra, with our default as well. So now what we have to do is that, presuming you choose your custom, you are going to get the option to set your image width and height, but that is not what we want. Okay, we don't want it to interfere with our design, so we don't want the custom dimensions. So go ahead for the low to the medium one here. You can render your works or your project works for personal use using those two options. Okay, now when it comes to the social media use, you can use the medium to high to render for your social media use. And then when it comes to print ready, is either you use the very high or the ultra, but in most cases make sure you use ultra when you are going to print the item. Okay, now assuming your design is going to be printed on a billboard, a very big one for that matter, you cannot use the very high or any other format there. So you have to make sure you go with the ultra for print ready. So basically this is what we have for this particular lesson or for this particular lecture. Until then, see you in the next lecture. Welcome back. In this lecture we are going to learn how to design a 3D text using our pixelLab application, and then we'll go ahead and then render it using the Photopea app as well. So this Photopea app can be downloaded on iOS and Android as well, or you can use the website www.photopea.com. So let's go ahead and launch the pixelLab application. Great. So when you open it, this is the interface that you are going to see. Okay, so we are going to move ahead and then change the size of what we are seeing over here. So to do that, head over to the three dots here and then click on it. Then you go to image size, and then you click on the drop down here and pick YouTube thumbnail. Then you click on OK. So you are going to have the size as this. Okay, so for today what we are designing is food era 3D text. So you go ahead and then you double click on it or you select it to edit. So what we are going to type right now is food era, then dash era. Great. Then you click on OK. So as you can see, we have it nicely like this. Then you go ahead and increase the size to your taste. Okay, increase it to the taste that you want, and then let's go ahead and edit the text as well. So for the font, we are going to use Abrifat Face regular. Okay, so we have it in the basic font. So for the very basic font here, this particular one, Abrifat Face regular, you click on it and click on OK. Then from here we go ahead and then make sure we select the color to be black. So here's the color, we make it black nicely like this. Great. Then you once again increase it. Okay, so I'm not going to give you any specific size, increase it to your taste nicely like this. So when you are done, then you go ahead and go to the background tool here, then you click on transparent. So when you have it nicely like this, then you go to your save tool here and save as image. Then you go ahead and click on where it says custom, and then you pick ultra, then you save to gallery nicely like this. Great, so our design has been saved like this. So now let's go ahead and render it and have a look at how it's going to be. So head back to your phone and then go and open the Photopea application. So you wait for it to load. Great, so with the application open like this, you are going to see open from computer. Okay, irrespective of whether you are using phone or whatever you are using, you are going to get it as open from computer. So what you are going to do is you click on it. Great, so it's going to take you to your folder, okay, or your file, or where your files are. Then you are going to pick a mockup file, a PSD mockup file that I'm going to leave in the resource folder. Okay, so for this lecture, let me go ahead and then click on pick from Windows where I saved it. Yes, you can see it at downloads. Probably after downloading it, you may find it at the download folder. So you go ahead and then can locate my desktop. Okay, so I think this is it. Then you click on OK. So after that, it's going to load it into the Photopea application for you to be able to work with it. Great, so now that you have it like this, what you are going to do is you are going to head over to where it says input your text here. So you double click on it. Then you have it like this. So when you have it, go ahead and then hide the very first one. Then you head over to where it says file at the top here. Then you go for open and place. Great, so now we are going to look for the design that we've done and then save it as PNG. So that's what we are going to pick. Okay, so we go ahead and then you pick it nicely like this. So as you can see, here is it. So now drag the bottom here and then increase it. Okay, make sure it's increased to a reasonable size here as well. Make sure it's not overlapping the white background, okay, or the transparent background here. Make sure it's not overlapping, it doesn't go beyond it. So we have it nicely like this, then we mark it. So once you have it like this, go ahead to your file again. Then this time around, go to save into bracket smart object. So you click on it. So smart object updated. Okay, so wait for some time and then you click on the very first one over here. Okay, so you click on the file here. Then you wait for it to load. So once it loads, you are going to see the results that we have. Great. So here is it. So it has successfully loaded and our food era 3D text has been designed successfully. Okay, so here is it. Here's what we have. So now what you have to do is to go ahead and then save it. Okay, or if you want to get rid of the background, you can also do that by hiding the background here like this. Then you hide the ornaments here as well, so you have it nicely. And if you don't want the text effect to, you can go ahead, hide it, and you can see everything is off. Or you click on it and then hide only the shadow, as you can see. So you can also work with the layers here for your taste. Okay, so we have it nicely like this. So when you are done with this, go ahead and go to the file again, then go to export as, then you go to PNG. Okay, then wait for it to load. So once it's like this, then you now change the name that you want. Okay, so this one is food era, so you go ahead and click on food era. Okay, then you type food era, sorry, food era. Okay, great. Then you go ahead and click on save. Then in some devices this will pop up again, some do not pop up, so whichever way it is, it's the same thing. Then you pick the PNG again and voila, your design has successfully been saved. So basically this is the guided project on food era 3D text design. Until then, see you in our next lecture. Welcome back. In this project, we are going to learn how to design cloudy atmosphere 3D text. Okay, so with your pixelLab open like this, let's go ahead and change the orientation. Okay, so click on the three dots here, then go to image size. Then from custom here, you select YouTube thumbnail. Then you click on OK. So we have it nicely like this. Now let's go ahead and edit the text now. So we'll go ahead and write cloudy atmosphere. So we have it nicely done like this. Then you click on OK. Okay, so now let's go ahead and work on the size and everything. So come to your text edit tool here, then make sure you go ahead and bold it. Okay, so from the start here, bolding it. You bolding it nicely like this. Then from here we go ahead and then change the color, which is white. Okay, so we have it as white already, so make sure you maintain the color as white. Then we go ahead and change the font. So go to font, and this time around we are going to use the font called America. Okay, so let's go ahead and locate it, which is this particular one here. So from your basic font, locate America here, which is this one. You click on it and click on OK. So you have it like this. Now go ahead and then resize it. Okay, so size it to your desired taste, and then bring this one down like this. Okay, then you increase the size again. Once again, see how I'm doing it. Make sure the cloud is at the top and then the atmosphere like this. Then you go ahead, go to align. Okay, then you align to center, then you mark it, then you adjust it again to your taste. Okay, so as you can see, we have it very big now. So if it's not big for you, adjust again. Then now, as you can see, the space between the cloudy and then the atmosphere is too much. So let's go ahead and reduce the line spacing, which is this particular one. So click on it and then reduce it to -75, as you can see here. So reduce it to -75, then click on OK. So you have it here, and then the size that I have here is okay for me as well. So with this done, go ahead and go to your background tool here. Then once again you click on transparent. So you have it. Then go to the save tool here, click on save as image, and then custom here, pick ultra, and you save to gallery. So great, now we have our image saved successfully. Now let's go ahead and go into our Photopea application and then render this particular one as well. So you open your Photopea. Great, so once you have it like this, once again go to open from computer. I'm going to leave the PSD mockup file in the resource folder so that you can find it and upload and use as well. Okay, so you can pick from Windows, or else you can pick it from your download folder. Okay, wherever you saved it, you can pick it from there. So the name is going to be rainy day 3D editable text as this. Then you click on open. Now depending on the strength of your mobile device, it's going to take some time. Okay, if your phone is running on 3 gig RAM or 4 gig RAM, it's cool. But if it is running on 8 gig RAM, it's going to be fast, and if it's running on 2 gig RAM, it's going to be really slow. So depending on your phone system. Okay, so now that we have it like this, let's go ahead and click on where it says place your design here. Okay, so you double click on it. Now we have it. So let's go ahead and hide this particular one. So you click on the eye icon here, you've hidden it. Then go ahead to file, then go to open and place. Okay, then go ahead and locate the design that we've done, the cloudy atmosphere design, which is this particular one. Okay, so now we have it, so you can then adjust it, okay, to your taste. Adjust it on it up to where you want. Okay, so you can adjust it to be at the middle exactly. Great. So once you have it to your taste, you are going to go ahead and click on the mark here to have it like this. Then you go ahead and go to file once again. Then this time around click on save into bracket smart object. Then smart object updated. Then you wait for some time and then you click on the very first one over here. Then wait again for it to render your design for you. Great, so we have our design ready. Okay, so as you can see, we have it ready. So here is it. Once again, if you don't want the background, okay, you can just click on the eye icon to toggle it on and off. So if you don't want it, you can just remove it, or if you want it, you can just leave it. Okay, but for the purpose of this lecture, we are leaving it as it is here. So once you are cool with the design, just like this, you go ahead and go to file once again, then go to export as, then you go to PNG. Okay, then you can then rename your design. Okay, so we have it as cloudy atmosphere. You have it like this, nicely done. Click on save, then click on PNG, then you have it nicely saved. So once again, we have successfully completed another project on the 3D text effect, and this time around we use the cloudy atmosphere for an example. So until then, see you in our next design. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to design another 3D text using the words golden 3D design. So without much doing, let's get right into that. So first, go to the three dots here and then change your orientation with the image size. And go here and then pick on YouTube thumbnail and click on OK. So you have your orientation as this in a landscape format. So let's go ahead and edit the text. Now with the text, write it as you are going to see. Okay, so write golden, then 3D design, just like you are seeing here. Okay, then go ahead and click on OK. Now you have it. Okay, so you can increase it to the size that you want, then push this one in like this to have it nicely done like this. Then go to the text tool here and then with the alignment you center it. Okay, come to alignment, then click on the center one here, click on OK. Then you can once again go ahead and then increase the size. Okay, now with this done, let's go ahead and work with the font now. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to where font is, which is this particular, and you click on it. And this time around, we are not going to work with the basic font. We are going to work with the custom font, which will show my font here. And I'm going to leave the font in the resource folder so that you'll be able to have access to all the fonts that I'm having here. Okay, so with that font, go ahead and then click on the search one and then search for SF. Okay, Fortune Wheel Condensed Italic, this particular one. Then select it and click on OK. So once you are done, this is the text design that you are going to see. Okay, now go ahead and increase it again to your taste. So make sure you increase it well, increase it big enough. Now with the text selected again, let's go and apply bold to only the O. Okay, the O that you are seeing over here, which is like a wheel. Let's go and apply the bold to only the O. So come here, go to style here, okay, then you click on it. Then you select only the O. Make sure the selection is on only the O. Then you click on bold. As you can see, it's only the O that got bolding, okay, extra bolding. Then you click on OK. So you have it nicely like this, and then with the color also as white. So with this done, let's go ahead to our background tool right here. Then you click on transparent. So you have it nicely done like this. Then go to the save image, save as image, click on custom and select ultra, then save to gallery. Great. So now with the first part done like this, let's go ahead and go and open our Photopea application as well. So let's click on it to open it. You can decide to use the web form. You can just go to Chrome, type, or Safari, type www.photopea.com. You'll be able to have access to this same interface as this. Then okay, so you pick on open from computer, nicely like this. Then you select from wherever you saved it. If yours is at downloads, you select it from downloads. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to go with Oliver 3D editable text effect like this. Then click on open. Great. So with this done like this, nicely like this, let's go ahead now and go to where it says place your text here. Okay, so you double click on it to select it. Great. So once you have it open like this, let's go ahead and then hide this Oliver text. Okay, then go to file, click on file, then go to open and place, then go to wherever you've saved the PNG of your design. Okay, normally it will be in the pixelLab folder. Then you click on it. Great. So we have it nicely like this, and then you can decide to expand it once again to suit your taste, okay, to what you want. Great. Then when you are done with it, you mark it here nicely. Then go ahead and go to file once again, and this time around click on save into bracket smart object. So smart objects updated. Then you click back on the very first one. Okay, depending on the RAM of your phone, that's the time it's going to take to render. So with a higher RAM, you'll be able to get the results faster. So you click on it, then you wait for it to render. Great. So once the rendering process is done, this is the result that we are having. So as you can see, it's looking very nice. So we have it as golden 3D design. Okay, so this is yet another project that we have completed. So if you are able to also follow up to this particular point, then you've really done well.